You're watching Fugitive Redeye, and welcome to another episode of Redeye Raw. And before you ask, yes, the shitty webcam is intentional. I thought it would be fitting with the topic of this video, since I'm going to be talking about technology and my kind of aversion to it, in a sense. I also want to show off my new shirt, because it doesn't really pick up when I'm holding it in my face. And I could just set up the tripod, but why? Why would I make it easier on myself? Yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about technology and why I don't personally like the idea of becoming super technologically advanced. I'm all for technology making stuff more convenient, but I don't think that we should become completely dependent on it, and that's a big problem that happens in today's society, especially with the fucking coronavirus. A lot of people are just used to the idea of, oh, everything's online. Yeah, kinda, that's kinda what happens, but I prefer not to just be. For instance, when I would collect DVDs, I used to like to go to FYE. That's where I'd get everything. Unfortunately, they closed down, not because of Corona, but because of that location shut down. There are 2 other locations, but I think they're closed off due to the pandemic. Although maybe they'll be opening back up when the world opens back up soon, so who knows? Or when some things open back up, you know what I mean. Point is, I don't like to order everything online, because sometimes I like to go to the store and find it. It's the thrill of the hunt. And also, if the internet goes out and you're reliant on it entirely, you're kind of fucked. That's why I'm all about owning movies physically, because, if my DVD player gives out, I'll just buy a new one. Whereas, if the internet were to just not work, I can't watch any of the streaming stuff I have. Hell, I had a scare with my Xbox One yesterday where, it wasn't working. But I think one of the spots on my surge protector went bad, so now I plugged it into a different surge protector, and it seems to be working fine. At least as far as I checked last night. Who knows if it'll give me fucking shit again today. Technology is great. I love it. I was going to go ahead and explain, my kind of hesitation to technologically upgrade and be technologically advanced. I think that we should always be making advancements. That's great, but I also think that we shouldn't let it control us. I mentioned previously that I did not have a smartphone until 2017. That's because I had an iPod Touch and a flip phone. The iPod Touch was like a Generation 2, or maybe even a Generation 3. It was really old, though, even by the time I used it. And that's what I used when I worked in the drive-thru. I used the iPod Touch. I was inseparable from it. And then I had my flip phone, which I couldn't receive, multimedia text. It always had to be SMS. So actually, with some of my jobs, they'd send text messages that were incompatible with my flip phone. So I'd have to say, hey, can you do send as SMS? Otherwise, I'm not going to get it. And he'd have to do that. But, yeah, that's how it was. I paid cash with everything until, last year. This year is the first time I've ever had my own actual debit card. That's technically not true. I had a payroll card from the fast food restaurant that was through Chase Bank. And I had that for 3 weeks until I got my direct deposit set up to my savings account. And then I just had an ATM card and would pay cash everywhere, which, maybe not the smartest idea to be carrying all your cash on you, but that's what I did for a while. Other than that, I also did have another debit card that I got either last year or the year before when I set up my new bank account, but I never activated it. So when I eventually did try to activate it, it was too late, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm not using the checking account anyway, so I might as well just stick to doing what I do. That's what I did. I just paid cash everywhere I went, and I always used my savings account because it was really the only account that I effectively had. They even shut down my checking account until I reopened it when I got the new debit card. And I got the new debit card just to make a few payments I have to make a little bit easier. I'm very fucking weird when it comes to technology. When Blu-ray first came out, I was really adverse to it. I was like, no, fuck that. I want my DVDs. I don't want to have to rely on this new technology. I don't need a new player. Of course, now the main thing I buy is Blu-ray, ironically. I prefer Blu-ray over DVD, but back then I was a little bitch about it. With music, I will admit I have gone pretty much full digital. My iPod Touch is loaded up with music. I haven't used it in a minute, but I could if I wanted to. I've also got Amazon Music and Spotify. I use those quite a bit. So with music, I have gone almost completely digital. That said, I do still buy CDs. And if I'm going to buy music, I'm going to buy the CDs. That's just how it is. In fact, the music on my iPod Touch that I put on there myself is CDs that I bought and then burned into iTunes and then copied onto the iPod. That's how I do it. I don't believe in buying digital music, but I do believe in listening to digital music. It's a little weird. But music is the one thing I would be okay with going completely digital. But even then, if I want to support it, I will buy it on a CD. But yeah, this shitty webcam, was the big thing in my early days of the channel. You're home for shitty webcam videos, right? It wasn't this webcam, but it was a very similar webcam. It was on a laptop as well, a netbook, I think it was called, that I broke, which is what caused the 3-year gap. But I'll get into that in another episode of Redeye Raw, where I talk a little bit about the channel generations. I'll probably go back to doing the phone up in the face thing with that. Or maybe I'll set up the tripod. I don't know. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to setting up the tripod, because I gotta find a TV tray to put it on, because the tripod's like this fucking big. It's one of those shitty little selfie phone tripods that you could buy at this, like, any fucking phone store. I got it when my local Toys R Us was closing, because they had it in the front. So it's like, it's not exactly the best tripod, because I gotta get like a TV tray or something to put it on, and then I gotta balance it on some books to make it tall enough to see me. So when I do like tripod videos, like I did with the Mai-chan movie, and a few others like that, it's just kind of a hassle to get everything set up with the tripod. So the webcam is easier to give the full view. But that's why Redeye Raw is always just the phone up in my face like that, because it's easier. But again, this is Redeye Raw. I'm doing it on this just because I felt it would fit the topic more, and I wanted to show off my new Violence Jack shirt. The old one's fading to shit, and this one's cooler anyway because it's actually got fucking Jack on it. So, cool shit. But, yeah, technology, not my strong suit. That's why I wanted to do a video on it, because I did put it was the thing I was most connected to in my latest, anime character quiz video. But, yeah, technology is a funny thing for me. I love it, but I'm also kind of weird about it. For instance, when the Xbox One came out, I still used my 360 for several months, if not a year. Because I was like, fuck that, I'm not going to upgrade, it's fine. And then my mom got me an Xbox One that Christmas, or the Christmas following, I'm not sure which, and that's when I got it. My PS4, I didn't have until I bought it from Snowman when he got a new one. My computer, my high-end computer, I bought when he upgraded and built the new one, because he built my computer and his own. Not this computer. This computer's my shitty laptop that I use for editing, because I'm fucking weird with that too. Like, okay, so here's some behind-the-scenes information, right? When I record gameplay, typically when I use the capture card, I use either Kyler's computer or mine. His is nicer and is typically hooked up to the capture card, so that's what I've been using more frequently, because mine is not currently hooked up. But mine will be what I'm using when I get back to streaming. Mine was the one I used when I first started streaming and first started using the capture card. But his is the one I started using a little bit later on because it was more convenient. Right now, I'm just capturing footage through the fucking inbuilt game DVR on the PS4, which is not ideal, but that's how I've been doing those videos. With like the Berserk and the JoJo games and stuff. I do all that on those computers, right? Typically. Like, not right now, but typically that's what I do. And then this laptop, is what I use to edit, because it is the only one I have Movie Maker on. Now, you could be saying, why the fuck don't you just get something else? A different free software, or pay for one, or acquire one through illicit means? Well, first off, I'm sketchy about that third option for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't want to get in trouble for that. And number two, I don't want to get a fucking virus, because you never know, who hasn't, acquired something in the past? But it's like, I'm very sketchy about doing it, and I've never actually gone out of my way and done it myself. In the past, when I was a teenager, I would have people do it for me, because I'm really fucking weird about that. But, yeah, I use this computer because it has Movie Maker, which again is not the ideal editing software for sure, but it's what I do. And this one's falling apart. Look, the bottom comes off. shouldn't do that. That's only one part that comes off. The whole fucking bottom comes off, at least the plastic cover. But yeah, that's all I have to say for today. I'll catch you next time. Doodles.